Song says, I will bless the Lord at all times. Come on, put your hands together. Come on, put your hands together. To worship, can we just lift up our hands before the King this morning? Come on, say, Lord, we love you.
We love you.
Lord, we glorify you. God, we need your presence in this place right now, God. God, we need your spirit in this place right now, God. We need your anointing to rule in this place right now, God. God, we need your power right now, God. God, we need your anointing right now, God. Come on and fill this room with your glory, Lord. Come on and fill this room with your glory. Fill this room with your glory. Oh God, we need you right now, Jesus. Anybody need him this morning? Come on, talk with me. Anybody need him this morning? I don't know about you, but I need him this morning. I need him this morning. Come on and help us sing. Light of the world. You step down into darkness. Open my eyes. help me sing holy. Lord, you're holy, yes, you are, Lord. Lord, you're holy. Lord, you're holy. Lord, you're holy, yes, you are, Lord. Lord, you're holy. Lord, you're mighty. Lord, you're mighty. Lord, you're mighty. Lord, you're mighty, yes, you are, Lord. Lord, you're mighty. Lord, you're mighty, Lord. Lord, you're mighty. Lord, you're mighty, yes, you are, Lord. Come on, say it again. Help us sing, Lord, you're mighty. Lord, you're mighty, yes, you are, Lord. Lord, you're mighty. Lord, you're mighty. Lord, you're mighty. Lord, you're mighty, Lord. Lord, you're mighty, yes, you are, Lord. Come on, give God some praise.
Here I am to worship. Welcome to Victory Baptist Church, where your victory in Christ matters here. We're so incredibly glad you came to join us in this Christmas season. We thank you for your ministry of presence. If it's your first time visiting with us, prayerfully come back again. If it's your second or more time, why not make this day you join this powerful, growing ministry? If you need to rededicate your life, come boldly to the throne of grace where you might find forgiveness of sins. Let's greet each other in love, enjoy the service, and be blessed. We're so glad you're here.
Amen, amen, amen. Thank you, Sister Kayla, for your ones and twos as always. We come in this time of prayer. This morning during Sunday school, we had a great discussion about 2019 and the church budget going forward. We came into a unanimous vote on that. Now, understanding that we have some great things ahead of us. I want y'all to be praying this week, this Wednesday. I have a meeting with the Dallas Life Foundation, which is a shelter about 5 minutes, if that, from here, that at least 25% of the kids that go to MLK Learning Center are coming out of the shelter. There's about 400 kids in our SOAR program and also our basketball program that we're trying to start. I want to reach out to them because we want at Victory, and excuse me, I know I need a little water in my throat, it's like trying to do something else. But here at Victory, we're trying to change lives, right? And so with that being said, if 10 of those kids can come along with us, practice right after church, basketball. Our goal is not to turn them into LeBron. But in some sense, I am. Because, you know, LeBron's a great basketball player, but I love all the stuff he does on the side. Starting school, things of that nature, make an impact. We want to try to train up children that can make an impact for future generations to come. And that's a part of our goal. Okay, so pray Wednesday, 11 o'clock. That meeting is there. We're also going to be developing and unleashing our KEYS program, Knowledge Empowering Your Success. And that program is a program where we're going to try to train people just on the basics of how to get a job interviews, resumes, and so forth. And then our plan is
They have a job fair around Easter egg hunt, and then at the end of the year through our Neowalla, which is our carnival during the fall, so kids in this community can trick or treat and safe and have a fun time. But at the same time, my hope is that their parents, just as they would at the Easter egg hunt, can get a job. So I think that's the best thing. You come and get you a candy egg, or mama or daddy ain't got them a job. Or you come and get you some candy, some Reese's Pieces, but mama and daddy ain't got a job. So that to me is the best thing that we can do. Because if we can place people into jobs, then we don't have to worry about the clothing and the food. We are already in that area where they don't have to do that. They have a job for themselves. And so, I want to please pray for that meeting. I think it's a monumental meeting for our church, and the outcome of it, I think, will get us to another whole level. And of course, we have our Impact Known program, which, that's our academic exposure, excursion, and so forth through this job center. So we have a lot of things that we want to offer. We want to make sure that God is in that. Those who are guests, I want to welcome you. As you've been welcomed by our fabulous Miss Velma. We're glad that you're here this morning. I think this is a moment that was not a moment by accident, but it's an intentional moment for you to be here, to be prayed for, that God can open doors that He needs to open and close doors that He needs to close for you. My goal and my hope, my prayer is that at some point you have heard the gospel and that you have been challenged, and whatever the Lord is leading you to do, that you go ahead and take that. Because I can't promise you tomorrow, I only can promise you this moment. And God has some greatness for us to take hold on and walk in our victory. Amen? Amen. So let us pray. Praying for those who are ill amongst us. Praying for those that are just in the midst of a struggle. Amen? Let us pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for everything that you've given us, my Father. And I pray that we bring in our mind to focus on you, to worship you, Almighty Father. To stay in tune to what you're trying to speak to us today, mighty Father. That we just walk in the shadow of your glory. Lord, that we just walk in your grace and your mercy. Lord, we all have our struggles, but Lord, we have praises to hold on to. We have been going through so much, so many valleys, but God, you got some mountaintops for us too. So God, thank you for what you have done. Thank you for what you are doing. And God, we're going to shout, because we know we have some blessings ahead of us that we're going to be able to tell others, only God did this, for nothing's impossible for you. Pray for our praise tonight. They come for one last song. Pray for our hearts and our ears to be open to what you are doing right now, right here. In Jesus' name, pray. Amen. 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 As our praise team comes back. Amen. coming to this time of Christmas and knowing that there are times that we can go through hardships, and I think this time of the year becomes harder. If you have lost someone, it becomes harder. If you are not able to provide the wants that your kids say, have a Christmas visit, it becomes harder. But I want you to know that God is continually on his throne, that God is real. I want you to also know that as we proceed, last week we talked about the angels and their announcement. But I want to talk to you this morning about Mary's calling. Because many times we look at the hardships that we're going through and we will not embrace our calling. We will not embrace our calling. I remember, and I want to just thank that praise team as they always do, leading us in worship. Amen.
Amen.
That when I was about 6 years old, I remember we were in our kitchen at the house. My dad had said to me, he was cooking breakfast, and my dad cooking breakfast is something else, but that harks back to my childhood memories. He would put some fried eggs, and he put his eggs go in the stove. They don't go on the stove, so go on the stove. Somehow he wouldn't make it so hard where you're like, what is that? He would make it just right. And he'd put the bacon and the sausage, and you're going to have it all. That's what we were having breakfast that morning. And he said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said to him that I want to be a lawyer, and I want to be president of the United States. I left it at that. He looked at me and said, if that's what you're going to be, then be that. I didn't ever let go of that. I was 6 years old. That was first grade. But I remember as we transitioned going into a new school and so forth, that it was something that I did not tell him it was in there, but I didn't say it. Because I was too scared to say it. I didn't understand. On TV, I could see Jesse Jackson running for president. You know, that's back in the day, my day. And you see him run for president, and it inspires you to see that how you can affect and change. But one thing I didn't say to him, and that's being a preacher. I did not say that, but I wanted to say it, but I didn't say it. Because how could I be that? I remember going to third grade, going to a new school, and it was time for the kind of time of the year, Christmas time. And you know, we got a little global warming going on now. Does anybody remember back in the 80s, it was cold in Dallas? Like, it was cold. And you had to have a real coat. Like today, I can walk around, I don't have to have a coat. It's not that cold outside, really. Wow. But back in 84, 85, 86, and when I'm talking about 88, I remember when we were doing this Christmas play at the school, they asked me to play the role of a preacher. I said, okay. I'm third grade, when I'm going to say no. And my mama come up here with me. She don't play. So I played this role in, man, I knocked out the park. I know I knocked it out the park. Because I got a lot of compliments. They started calling me Little Preach. Right after, I'm like, hey, Little Preacher. Because I have a little suit, I had the little Bible, and I did my thing. But something was right there. It was always right there. And I remember my father was away in the military at that time. And I remember I was going home, and we had this Grand Prix. It was burgundy. And it had little issues. Anybody got a car that got little issues? It had little issues. It was one of them trunks that you had to pop, and you had to hit the top of the hood a couple times for it to pop up. You ain't gonna pop up to pull the thing. You gotta hit it. You kind of hope it pop up. This thing, the Christmas play was sometime in December, and it was cold. See, this was when it was ice. I feel like we have not had a good ice in a long time. And it was cold. It was so cold, and our heat thing really didn't work that well. But the car, hey, it's driving. We good. So we did the play. We're coming home, and we get stuck on 35, not that far from Parkland. And it's cold. It had to be like low 30s, maybe we get into the 20s. It is cold. And for my children, they don't understand what it meant when you didn't have a phone. So we didn't have cell phones. So you didn't have anybody to call. Well, let me call the AAA or something. You didn't have nobody to call. Had nobody to call. So we said that my mom kept trying to crank it up. It ain't cranking. Had my little sister in there, had me, and my mom, and it's just us in the car. She trying to crank it up. We're on the side of the freeway. She trying to crank it up. She like, Lord, please let it crank up. Let it crank up. Hey. Now I remember that night, making a commitment, a prayer to God and a commitment to God. God, I give myself to you and give you my life at the age of 8. Now, I'm not talking about being a Christian. I was already accepted Christ, but I'm talking about, Lord, I give myself over to the calling. If you want me to be this preacher, I'll do it. If you would just start this car up. Told my mom what I had done. I said, Mom, turn the car on. She turned that car on, and it turned it on. Now, for a long time, I forgot that prayer. You ever do something with God? God, if you just get me out of this, I forgot that prayer for a long time. Now, I remember when I was about to turn 19 or so, that my mom reminded me, said, you remember that night when that car stopped on the side of the road and we had nobody call on himself for Jesus? I said, what you talking about? Remember in the 3rd grade, you prayed a prayer and that car turned on. And I did at that point. So then I began to struggle. That prayer that I made, and I knew that calling then, at the age of now almost turning 20, Lord, what do you want me to do with this? Because I know the urging and burden that you have on me, and I know that you're calling me more to do more, Lord. What do you want? So I want you to be who you're supposed to be. So February 24th, 2000, I officially declared before everyone that I had a calling into the ministry, to preach, to minister. But at the age of 8 and before that, I knew that. We come into this moment with Mary, and she's going to be this young person, and we're in the book of Luke. That's Matthew, Mark, Luke. We're in the 3rd book. Matthew, Mark, Luke, we're in chapter 1. So you get to Luke, you just stop in chapter 1. And we're going to be in verse 26 to 38. And I just want you to see that many of us, or all of us, have a calling on our life. But many of us are not embracing the calling because some of us are fearful. Some of us like, I don't know about that, Lord. Maybe not me. And some of us are saying, Lord, maybe next time. But I come to tell you that I want us to understand the example of Mary because she could say, maybe next time, but she didn't. And if she had done that, what would have been the impact upon all of us during this Christmas season? We need to understand that. The first point I want you to see in verse 26 is that we must rely on the presence of God and His grace. Verse 26 says, now in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent from God to the city in Galilee called Nazareth, to a virgin engaged to a man whose name was Joseph, and of the descendants of David. The virgin's name was Mary. And in coming in, he said to her, greetings, favored one. The Lord is with you. But she was very perplexed at the statement and kept pondering what kind of salutation this was. The angel said to her, do not be afraid, Mary, for you have found favor with God. I need you to understand that Luke is starting the story of Jesus' birth with really putting the calculation of a barren woman in mind. When it says the 6th month, it's telling us about Elizabeth, but not telling us indirectly. Elizabeth is Mary's cousin, who is old and barren. But Gabriel has already visited her and Zechariah 6 months prior and said, y'all will have a child. I know y'all have tried to have a child all in your life, but now in your old age, in your retirement age, you're going to have a child. Because that child will be a forerunner for Christ. That child will be a sign to Mary that the power of the Lord is indeed here. Now I want you to understand this. See, many times when we think about how the world operates, we think about how it operates now. Because if anything happens, it's on Twitter, it's on Facebook, somebody texts you, there's a meme, something. But do you understand back in the day, they didn't have all that? See, even in the 1800s, they had mail. They don't have mail. Somebody's going to have to see and come back with the information. And they ain't, look, going from Oak Cliff all the way up to Plano takes no time. But back in the day, when all y'all had was donkeys and all that, that takes forever. So, Mary doesn't know about Elizabeth. She's 6 months pregnant, she don't know. Because Elizabeth lives somewhere else. But Gabriel and the Lord wants everyone to understand that look at the miracle that I'm doing in this older woman who has been barren with her older husband. They're all going to give birth. So 6 months, she's in 6 months. Now I got somebody this morning who's 7 months pregnant. And when you get about 6 months pregnant, you can't really hide that no more, can you? First month you can, second month, third month even. But when you try to get into that 6th, you start showing. Some folks might can hide, but you start showing. Now Elizabeth is showing a little bit here, isn't she? But the story really is not about her, but it's trying to tell us that there's power right here that's coming. There's grace right here that's coming. And here, we have Elizabeth, who is her cousin, and now we have Mary. Now Mary is engaged to Joseph. Now I need to let y'all know something else. See, once again, modern times. I got folks in here who've been engaged about 3 or 5 times. Now that's not how the old would. First of all, about 100 years ago, it didn't work like that. But back in the day, when you got betrothed, you were engaged to the point that if you want to break it off, you would have to get a divorce of the betrothal, of the engagement. I got folks walking around with fiancés like they got girlfriends. Now let me, okay. What am I trying to say? Today's time, we don't take it as serious as they did back then. There were some legal consequences if you were not going to get married and you were already engaged. It was serious. So Mary is here betrothed. Not only is she betrothed, but Mary ain't been with nobody, including Joseph. Can I just hit on that real quick now? I'll get back to it. Some of us have been engaged like we married. No! Until, then we say put a ring on it. Baby, that's the engagement ring. Until you put that wedding band on it. That's what Beyonce they talk about. When you put a wedding band on it, put a wedding band on it. Because we get so happy for the engagement ring that we think, no. See, in Mary's time, that was real. You got engaged, you got in this situation, you had to go through a legal situation to get out of it. Now we broke up through text. So here's Mary, a young woman who has never been with a man, seeing to her, coming to her, Gabriel. Now, Gabriel's going to come to her, and she says, favored. Now, I want you to understand that Mary's getting married to Joseph. Luke is going to let us know that she is a descendant of David also, but Joseph is of the direct line of David. It's important because Jesus is going to be the adopted son of what? Joseph. So it's important. We'll get to that in a moment. But here Mary is favored. Now, it does not tell us why Mary was favored. It does not say Mary went into the Mother of Jesus exam and she passed. There was no 3-day exam. It doesn't say she was this fantastic giving woman that she gave out all the cans and she gave out ham dinners. It don't say that. It don't say that she got in her word all day and she prayed all day. It don't say that. Mary was not perfect. I need to come here and let you understand that many of us have a calling on our life, but you ain't perfect. Mary wasn't perfect. Mary might have cursed. Yeah. Mary might have got angry. Yeah. Mary might want to sometimes give up. Yeah. How do you know this? Because when we go throughout the ministry of Jesus, it's when she comes with Jesus' half-brothers and her trying to get Jesus to stop. When she's at the cross, Mary is sad. Now when we see that, Mary, did you know? Mary does not understand everything that's happening. That's what we're talking about. She's pondering, she's thinking, but when she at the cross, she ain't had no praise party. She's crying. She's like, this is the end. When she goes to the tomb, she's ready to anoint and put anointing and spices to make the body still smell good and be right on a dead body. She's not coming to a tomb thinking she's going to see a resurrected Savior. But she knew that this boy was special. How you say that? Because Mary is the instigator of Jesus' first recorded miracle. We at the wedding. The wine ran out. Jesus, can you go ahead and make some wine and tell these folks? Man, Jesus looked at her like, hey, you know I'll be doing this at the house. Come on, why'd you have me out here? So what am I trying to tell you? Mary does not understand everything that she's about to go in, but what Mary's going to do is accept her calling in her imperfection. She's going to rely on God and His direction. Are we there? Are we there, church? Are we there when God is saying, I need you to go to east? And you're like, I don't know about that. I want to tell y'all something. And I'm hoping she won't be upset with me. But Aunt Tricia, you coming to Texas wasn't just like, well, let's go to Texas today. That was something you prayed about. And it hasn't been easy.
Not at all.
Not at all. See, that New York came all the way out. Not at all. Your son, this is the tough one. I'm jealous. But there was a calling that sometimes that God will call us to that will not be easy. But He's asking, will you rely on my presence? Will you rely on my grace? Because it won't be easy. So here the angel Gabriel announces to Mary that you've been favored. You know what favor really means? You've been given kindness even though you don't deserve it. Mary wasn't favored because she deserved it. She was favored by a God that gave grace to her that was undeserved. I need you to understand when somebody says, oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. Yo, so you say you're undeserved. Because really what you're really saying is, my God bestowed something on me that I don't deserve. I know I just cut that person off on 75. I know I didn't wild on my kids. I know I've been late to the job. But somehow I got me a promotion. Somehow I got here safely. And somehow my kid's still good. I'm blessed and highly favored. Yes, you are, because God has bestowed some blessings that you didn't deserve. Someone on this Christmas season, our credit card looking crazy. But somehow you still able to make bills, you are blessed and highly favored. Because you don't deserve how your bills looking good. Because you on your credit card. Baby, our babies don't need all the Nintendo Switches, Zeldas. We should have had no $500 per kid Christmas bill. You know, back in the day, they used to make the toy. I'm not saying I'm doing that now. Somebody, well, we at Home Depot every weekend with a deal like DIY. Like, yeah, that's how we supposed to make it. You looking at YouTube every day. All the views on YouTube is you trying to make this little toy. You up here trying to learn how to code so you can make some computer games for your kids. No. We are giving something because God said, I'm going to give it to you. So the second point, to rely on his grace, his presence. Trust God's plan. Look at verse 31. And behold, you will conceive in your womb and bear a son. You shall name him Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord God will give him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over the house of Jacob forever. And his kingdom will have no end. Mary said to the angel, how can this be since I'm a virgin? You see, she had to trust God's plan. See, Gabriel first gave her for reality that Jesus himself would be what? First of all, Jesus is going to be great. And when you like that to know about your child, before you're going to give birth, oh, this ain't going to be no slacker. You got somebody great in your tummy. Wouldn't it be nice to have somebody you knew in your tummy you ain't never got to go to the principal's office? You don't ever have to have no teacher conference about. You ain't never going to have to go to the Lucera before. You ain't never going to have to get that call at midnight. Mama, she crazy, mama. Can I come home? You ain't never going to have to get them calls from the jump night. He going to be great. That would be nice. That would be nice. But our reality is a little different. But here Mary is given that Jesus is going to be great, and then he's what? And will be called the Son of the Most High. He'll be called the Son of God. And the Lord will give him the throne of his father David. Now, how is that his father David? Now, it's about his ancestor. His ancestor is Joseph, is David. How? First of all, I want you to look at just biologically, he's born of the flesh of Mary. Mary is a descendant of David. Luke shows us that. Joseph, under our Jewish custom, Joseph needs adoption. Joseph is a direct descendant of David. This is why Joseph is going to be going to Bethlehem. Because Caesar Augustus unknowingly is going to play a part in this Christmas story. Caesar Augustus didn't know about God, didn't care about God. He cared about his money. He tried to send everybody down there so he know how he can get his money, the taxes. But Joseph is going to go down to Bethlehem to fulfill some prophecy, but Joseph is also showing who his ancestor was. David. So that's why he's going to give him the throne of David, and he will reign over the house of Jacob forever. Now the house of Jacob, we're talking about Israel, and his kingdom will have no end. Now I want you to understand that his kingdom is not just for Jews. His kingdom is for all those that accept Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. What do you mean? See, Jesus died on the cross for our sins to save us. But Jesus is coming back. The world as we know it will not always be like this. We will not always have earthquakes. We will not always have a president tweeting about whomever. from kneeling to being a reporter. We won't always have this kind of mess. We won't always have, when you see an earthquake in Alaska and the roads are split apart, we won't always have the drug house right next to us. We won't always have a car wash opening and having an open drug market. We won't always have that. Because one day Jesus is going to come back and take his throne. We won't have the New Jack City situations anymore. We won't have broken homes anymore. One day he's going to come and take his throne. And when he takes his throne, it's not, someone looking for 2020. Ooh, we might get us a new president. Let that marinate in his soul. 2020 come. But see, there won't be an end to his kingdom. See, when things are going good, you don't want stuff to end. Am I right? See, it's some things that you remember are good memories. You don't want it to end. But it does end those good memories, right? Because it's time. It's time. But with Jesus, he's the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. He's the ending point. So if he's not going to end, you don't have to worry about that. His kingdom will reign forever. And there will be no sorrow, no tears. That's what he promises. So Gabriel is letting her know all this. Do you think Mary understands all this? You ever go to school on the first day and that teacher try to drop everything that he knows in your head? You're like, okay, y'all got that? And you look at him like, what'd you say? I got 2 plus 2 is 4, but you said 2 times the quantity of a quantum length in a function equals 5. I don't even know how you got to 5. I remember in college giving blood so I could pass college algebra. Because I was struggling. I like to take all the blood, I just need the points. Mary is taking a lot in. She's taking a lot in. And she's not understanding everything, but understand this. That's what I want y'all to hear. But she's trusting the plan. See, some of us say, I got to understand everything. How are we going to get there? What car are we going to take? What kind of gas are we going to put in? What time are you going to leave? Where are we going to make a stop? What hotel are we going to stay? Where the food we going to get? Okay, hold on, y'all. Can we just get on the road? Some of us we got to understand every little thing or we ain't with that. And God says, do you trust me enough to understand that first of all, I'm God, but that I got your best interest at heart? Do you understand? With me and my wife, if I say, hey, we're going to go so-and-so, let's say we're going to take a road trip, she don't be asking me any questions. Because I ain't trying to plot the thing, where we're going to stop, what food we're going to get, all that stuff. Because she trusts my decision. We have talked about how we're going to get there, but she trusts how. She said, you got it. Then when I get a little sleepy, she still say, you still got it. You think you don't want to take the wheel? No, you still got it. But here's Mary. She says, God, I understand that you're giving all of this, and I'm perplexed. She said, I don't understand all this, but I'm going to trust you. I accept what you're saying. Now, she did have a question. Now, how can this be? She didn't say it's not going to happen, but she said, how can it be since I'm a virgin? How can I have a baby? Leads me to that third point. Trust in the power of God. The angel answered in verse 35 and said to her, the Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. For this reason, the Holy Child shall be called the Son of God. And behold, even your relative Elizabeth has also conceived a son in her old age. And she who was called barren is now in her 6th month. This is Gabriel. For nothing will be impossible with God, his Mary. And Mary said, behold, the bond slave of the Lord, may it be done to me according to your word. And the angel departed from her. Now this is what I want you to understand. That she said who she was. How can this be? He explains it's going to be through the power of the Lord. Mary didn't have no relations. Joseph, when they finally were at that moment, it was only Joseph. So I don't want you getting no weird. It's been explained in the Old Testament. They used to have something when they were talking about the presence of the Lord was here. A cloud would come over the tabernacle, and some commentators explain it as such: that first of all, the Holy Spirit came and had power, but it was an overshadowing. Why is this even important? Because see, Jesus did not need to be with a stain of man upon him, that seed of man that sinned. Because he had to be born spotless. Because then he couldn't die for us. He couldn't die for us. So we had to have that. We had to have someone that did not have the seed of man in him. We had to have somebody who had the option, the ability to say, I'm going to be without sin. He had to be that person. Now here is Jesus doing that. Here is God putting this person that was already existing before days. I want you to understand that. Jesus didn't start when he was born of Mary. John 1 lets us know that in that beginning, the Word was with God and the Word was God. In that beginning. So here Jesus is going to put on flesh so that he can sacrifice his life for us. Mary is getting all this explained to her. She said, I hear you talking about Elizabeth, she's pregnant. Her nickname was the barrenness. Now she ain't barren anymore, she about to have a baby. All this is happening. And Mary, I want to tell you, still probably didn't understand everything that was happening. But this is what Mary said. I'm the servant of the Lord, and whatever he says, I'm going to follow. I need us as a church, I need us as a people, I need us as individuals, I need us to understand. If God calls us for something, you may not understand everything. Maybe you're smarter than most, maybe you understand. But most of us don't understand everything that God's calling us to and calling us through. Some of us have been through hell and hot water. When God keeps calling our name, won't you come to me? Some of us have been broken down, and God's first calling on your life is saying, will you be my child? Will you be my child? And we don't understand how God can call an imperfect person, a person that came out of a means. You don't understand Mary wasn't rich. Mary came out of a city that was called the city of garbage. It was said, what good can come out of Nazareth? I think I got some people here, if you were talking about the town that you came out of, the city that you came out of, the section of town that you came out of, that people said, what good could come out of that? But God said, I called it out. So here, Mary, who's imperfect, who's not rich, who's not this great individual, but God said, I've chosen you. And her response is not to him and haw and say, well, have you talked to my sister? Have you talked about my cousin? You know, something's around the corner. All she says, according to your word, let it be done. This morning, I would ask you, if God was calling you, and I think he is, what would you say this morning? Some of y'all, God's calling you to a relationship with him today. Will you get into a relationship with me? Will you accept me as your Lord? Will you accept me as your Savior? Will you accept me as Father? Some of y'all are being called right now. God is saying, I'm speaking to your heart. You know, I'm speaking to you. Some of y'all, God is saying, you are in a family with me, but you've been living a long lifestyle. You've been doing everything else. And God said, will you rededicate yourself to me? Some, God may be saying, you here right now, in the midst of a ministry. Won't you come and partner, co-labor with them? God may be calling you to that. But for some, can I get a little deeper? God's calling you a particular situation. See, now everybody got to be a preacher. Sometimes God is saying, I called you to be the next teacher. But you don't believe in yourself. You believe what your mama said. You believe what that boy who tried to date you said. And now, so you haven't gone to school. So you haven't done the things that you're supposed to do because you believe yourself stupid. And I say, you're not stupid. I made you beautiful. You don't believe yourself intelligent. But I made you of intelligence. And what you lack, I will provide. Because that's the thing about it. You want to come to the table where you got it all. Mary was a virgin. God got to do it all. All she is the instrument. Will you accept your instrumentality? Will you accept that you can be the trumpet and let him to play? Will you accept yourself to be the piano and let him to play? Because God will do a mighty work through you, and you don't even have to understand it all. Today we got people who will worship Mary like a big dog. And Mary will probably look at them today like, worship me for what? I struggled. I didn't understand it all. I was just an instrument. You don't worship me, you worship the God who chose me. You worship the God that used me. You worship the God that showed a beautiful harvest. You worship that God that used and brought forth salvation out of my womb. Yes. That's what Mary would say. So I will ask you this morning, because I believe God is knocking on some people's hearts this morning. Will you accept your calling? I don't know what it is this morning, but I know somebody this morning. God is calling you. Don't look for the perfect situation. Because if y'all reflect back on scriptures, Mary talked to Joseph. She didn't have no conversation. Because you know why? Because God said. And we'll get to what God said to Joseph, but God said, so she just took it. She said, I'm going to run with this. Because God said to do this. So this morning, if God is calling you, be like Mary.